you hear these stories of heroism with people who risk their lives for others. And the question is, why do they do it? And when he was getting the medal, the president said to him, "Did you think you were going to die?" To which he replied, "No, I knew I was going to die." It was August 16th in 2002, and a pilot in the United States Air Force with a call sign Johnny Bravo was flying with his wingmen in their A-10 Warthogs above a valley in Afghanistan. An A-10 is a slow-flying, heavily armored, low-flying aircraft designed to provide ground support for troops below. And on this night, they were told to hang out above this valley in case they're needed, while a team of 22 Special Operations Forces were making their way through the valley, attempting to extract what the government likes to call a high-value target. Call came over the radio, "Troops in contact." Troops in contact is what they say when they need help, when they come under effective fire and they need someone to come and help them. And that call came over the radio. Johnny Bravo had never heard it in combat before. This was his first time. Now there was no question he had to get down there. So he flies down through the cloud, the turbulence throws him about, and he finally pops out beneath the cloud, and he's less than 1,000 feet above the ground. He flies up above the cloud and tells his wingman, "You need to get back down there." And so the two of them fly back into the valley, wing to wing, 3 feet apart from each other. Johnny Bravo counts while his wingman lays down suppressing fire. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000. And again, 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000. That night, 22 Americans went home alive with 0 casualties. I got to meet Johnny Bravo, pretty low-key guy. Wasn't looking for a medal, wasn't looking for a bonus, wasn't looking for promotion, wasn't looking for a reality TV show, just doing his JOB, as he puts it. He told me that he believes there are fates worse than death. One fate worse than death is accidentally killing your own. Another fate worse than death is going home alive when 22 don't. So I start thinking to myself, where do people like this come from? People who are willing to risk their lives for others. My initial conclusion is they're just better than us. They're just better people. That's the best I could come up with. And the more I started to learn and the more time I got to spend around some of these remarkable people, I started to realize it's not in their DNA. It's in the environment in which they live, and it's in the environment in which they work. In other words, every single one of us has the capacity to be like Johnny Bravo. Environmental, how do we create the environments in which people like Johnny Bravos can exist? Go back to caveman times, for example. The world was filled with danger, right? There were all of these forces trying to kill us. Nothing personal. Things like the weather, lack of resources, maybe a saber-toothed tiger. Nothing personal. All of these forces trying to end our lives. And so we evolved into these social animals where we lived in tribes. Because if we felt safe amongst each other, we could organize our talents and our strength to work together to face the dangers and seize the opportunities. It's the exact same thing in business. The world is filled with dangers that are constant and unpredictable, things like the ups and downs of the stock market. The only variable is the environment inside the organization, the culture in which we live and the culture in which we work. That is entirely within our control. And if we feel safe amongst each other, if we feel like we belong, if we trust each other, it means we're more likely to work together to face the dangers and seize the opportunities on the outside. If we fear each other, it means we'll be forced to invest our own time and our own energy to protect each other from each other, to protect ourselves from each other, and the result of which weakens an organization and exposes the organization to greater dangers. It's this circle of safety that needs to exist. And it's absolutely essential to our survival. I mean, this is the reason the human race has survived. We existed on this planet 50,000 years ago. At the same time, other hominid species existed, and yet we survived and they didn't. We're not the strongest, we're not the fastest, and yet we survived because we worked together. We did it together. It is the only way. You have to write down your goals. If you want to achieve your goals, you have to write them down. We're visual animals. There's some truth to this, right? We're no good with amorphous, right? You will get a bonus if you accomplish more. How much more? More. Wouldn't work very well. Give me a target. Give me something specific. Give me something I can see. We're very, very visual animals, right? This is why a vision statement must be something that we can see or imagine in our mind's eye, right? That's why it's called vision. Have to be able to see it. If it's amorphous, it doesn't inspire us. Most corporate visions are useless. To be the biggest, to be the most respected. They don't mean anything to us. We don't even know what the metric is. Respected by whom? Your customer? Your employees? Your mother? Yourself? Who? We don't even know how you're measuring it. It doesn't inspire us. We can imagine that. And if that's the kind of world that inspires us, we'll direct our energies towards that goal. And every milestone we pass that makes us let us feel like we're making progress excites us to keep going and heading towards that goal. It's not the metrics. The metrics are the steps that we're counting to let us feel that we're making progress towards the larger goal. It's the destination, it's the apple tree in the distance that matters. Leadership chemical, because it's the chemical of leaders, right? Leaders have status in our society. They walk around like this, right? You can tell they have this sense of pride, right? The reason we have leaders is actually quite practical. We used to live in populations of between 100 and 150 people, which presents a very practical problem. We're all hungry. Somebody brings back food, dumps it on the ground. We all rush in to eat. If you're lucky enough to be built like a linebacker, you will shove your way to the front. If you're the artistic one of the family, you get an elbow in the face. Not a good system for survival. Because that means when the guy who punched you in the face is sleeping at night and danger rears its ugly head, odds are very high you're not going to wake him to alert him. He just punched you in the face this afternoon. Bad system for survival. And so we evolved into these hierarchical animals. We're constantly judging each other. Who's alpha, who's beta? We're constantly assessing who's more senior than us. And it's not a fixed scale, it's a relative scale. You know, physical strength may be desired if you're a wrestler. Creativity may be the standard if you're an artist. We've all felt it. We've all felt it. If you've ever met someone and you're nervous when you meet them, you're not the alpha. And we've all met someone and we can sense that they're nervous meeting us, you're the alpha. And what we do is we defer to our alphas. We naturally, voluntarily take a step back and allow our alphas to eat first. We allow those who are higher up in the hierarchy to eat before us, naturally, right? So the alphas get first choice of meat and first choice of mate. Proud to serve those who are higher in the hierarchy, which is why we're always vying to be the leaders, which is why guys show off in bars, because they want to appear to be the alpha. Because it earns you more respect, it earns you more, and it raises your status. But like I said, it was very practical. It was about food. It was about allowing the alphas to eat first so the rest of us wouldn't have to get an elbow in the face when we do. But it comes at a cost. As General Flynn taught me, the cost of leadership is self-interest. You see, the group isn't stupid. We don't give the alpha all of that special treatment and all of our love and fill them up with serotonin and pride and confidence for nothing. There's a responsibility that comes with leadership. We expect that the guy who's actually stronger, actually better fed, and actually filled with more confidence because they're surging with serotonin, that when danger rears its ugly head, we expect that person to run towards the danger to save us. That's the cost of leadership. We are happy to pay deference to our leaders when we feel confident that our leaders, when it matters most, would sacrifice themselves for us. That's the cost of leadership. Leadership is not a rank, it is a choice. It has nothing to do with where you are in the pecking order of the organization. You can be the highest ranking person in the company and you cannot be a leader. You can be the lowest ranking person and you can be a leader. Are you willing to look out for the person to the right of you and the person to the left of you? Are you willing, when it matters most, to sacrifice your comfort so that others may advance? This is what it means when we say leaders eat last. If you visit any chow hall in the world, any Marine Corps chow hall in the world, you will see that when it's time to eat, the Marines will line up in rank order. They will put the most junior Marine first and the most senior Marine at the end. Though in the chow hall it is symbolic, what it's saying is that our leaders would be willing to feed those in our care before we even feed ourselves, just like a parent. Great leadership is about sacrificing the numbers to save your people. Great leaders never sacrifice the people to save the numbers. Leadership is a choice, and it is a deeply ingrained social contract. I can almost guarantee you that almost every single person in this room chose the person you're sitting next to. You're sitting next to somebody you know, somebody you may have a friendship with, a relationship with. It's very uncomfortable to sit next to strangers. When we go to events and we see somebody we know, we walk over and we say hi and we sit with them, we stand with them, if they're the only other person we know. We don't like sitting with strangers. It makes us feel vulnerable. And remember, we're tribal animals, we're pack animals. We want to feel like we're in a circle of safety. We want to feel like we're amongst people who believe what we believe, who share our values. We want to feel that if we turn our back, they will watch our back. We can make ourselves vulnerable and they will protect us. It's the best definition of love I ever heard. It's the willingness to give someone the ability to destroy you and trust that they won't use it. That's what it means, that we do not fear each other so that we can organize ourselves to take on the outside world. Act of generosity, act of human kindness. An act of human generosity is defined as giving of your time and energy with no expectation of anything in return. Money doesn't count, sorry. What if I told you that this morning I gave $500 to charity? What would you think of me? You'd be like, good for you. What, do you want a medal, right? But what if I told you that last Saturday I gave up half my Saturday and I went and painted a school in the inner city? Then what would you think of me? You'd be like, nice, cool, I should do more, right? We as human beings put a higher premium on people who give away a non-redeemable commodity. Money is a redeemable commodity. We waste it, we make more. Time and energy, once it's spent, there's no getting it back. We've all sat in meetings and thought to ourselves, I'll never get this time back. Some of you are sitting here right now thinking, I'll never get this time back. You won't, sorry, I got nothing for you. Those who give us the time and energy, we repay them with immense gratitude and we start to develop trust, right? This is why email doesn't work, because it's too easy. There's no sacrifice of time or energy. If I come to your house for dinner and you make me a lovely dinner, and the next day I send you a lovely email saying what a wonderful host you are and what a wonderful meal it was and how much fun I had, or 3 days later you receive a handwritten note from me with the exact same words in the email, which one makes you feel better? The handwritten note. Because you know it took a little bit more time and a little bit more energy for me to send it, and so it actually makes you feel better. This is why you can't send emails to say thank you to people or tell them what you think of their ideas. It's too easy, it doesn't work. Or reprimand people, it doesn't work. Email is fantastic for the exchange of ideas, for connecting people, or for giving information away. Hey, what time's the meeting? The meeting's at 4. Here's the document you asked for. But to respond to someone's ideas or tell them they did a good job, stand up, walk the 30 feet, knock next door and say, hey, great job in today's meeting. And they'll look at you and be like, that's all? You'll be like, that's all. And walk away. As General Flynn taught me, it's called eyeball leadership, and it really, really matters. It's the reason why great leaders roam the halls and know people's names. It's the reason why great generals visit the front lines. It's because we know that their time is valuable and they were willing to give up some of their time just to come say hi to us, to see how we're doing. We reward that with immense gratitude because it is a non-redeemable commodity. Sacrifice your time and your energy. It's the exact same thing as going to your kid's baseball game. You want to be a good dad, you want to be a good mom, you're going to leave work early and you got your priorities in the right place and you go to the game, and while you're at the game, sitting in the bleachers, you're on your phone the whole time, and the only time you look up is when you hear cheering. You gave your time, you didn't give your energy. I promise you, when your kid's standing on second base and there's no cheering or anything, and your kid looks over to you and you're looking down, your kid does not feel that you care. Just stay at work. It's probably better. Else. The more good we do for each other, the more it actually biologically inspires others to do good for each other also. And there's a reason for it. The human body is trying desperately to get us to look after each other. It makes us feel really good when we do nice things for each other. It makes us want to do nice things for each other when we see other people do nice things for each other. It's trying to get us to look after the tribe with positive reinforcements, desperately trying to do it. Everybody comes to work and they not only achieve great things, but they feel like someone cares about them. You feel that management has your interest in mind. Most importantly, you talk about how much you care about each other and how you care that others care for you. When you talk to people like Johnny Bravo or the other heroes that have risked their lives or are willing to risk their lives for other people, I've asked them, why would you do it? Why would you sacrifice for someone else? They all say the same thing. Because they would have done it for me. That's called trust. And what an amazing experience to go to work in a place where we can say that I know that they would have done it for me. That's why I would do it for them. It makes us feel calm. It makes us feel good. It makes us live longer. It makes us happier. It makes us care more. It makes us do nicer things. The reason you say, I love my job, be biologically accurate. I love my job. I trust my leaders. I know that they would look out for me, and when it matters, that they would sacrifice the numbers to protect the people. They would never sacrifice the people to protect the numbers. Couples live longer than single people. Happy people live longer than single people. Or sad people, rather. Happy people live longer than other people. Seriously. Right? There's less cases of cancer, diabetes, heart disease simply for being happy.